Samuel Kelly Iwese is a professor of peace studies and international relationship director of the African Regional Center of the United Nations University. Now, UNPeace have an office in Somalia. He joined us from Addis Ababa. Thank you so much. My first question is, tell us brief about UNPeace, when it was established and how it affiliated with the UN.
The United Nations University for Peace on the 5th of December this year is going to be 40 years old. It was created by United Nations General Assembly Resolution 3555 of 5th December 1980. The headquarters of UNPeace is in Costa Rica, but it has regional programs in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, where I head the Africa program, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. So it is an international institution created by the United Nations to assist the United Nations in lessening the obstacles to peace globally. And that is why the UNPeace has branches all over the world.
Did you establish UNPeace program, and currently how many countries do you operate in Africa?
Although UNPeace was created in 1980, the Africa program was created in 2002. And in 2002, the Africa program office was first of all based in Geneva. And in 2005, they decided that the Africa program should move to Africa's diplomatic capital, which is Addis Ababa. Presently, we operate in relations with other universities and other institutions. We operate in 27 countries in Africa.
Or have a host institute that facilitate day-to-day UNPeace activities in Somalia?
Yes, UNPeace can operate individually or it can operate in collaboration with a local institution. And so UNPeace, for instance, in Uganda, we operate individually, and we also have agreements with 2 other Ugandan universities. In Somalia, we were hosted by Somali Disaster Resilience Institute, but we would be migrating to open our own individual office because the challenges in Somalia are huge, and we need to manage our program carefully in Somalia in conjunction. We have to take in consideration of the prevailing situation, especially security situation. So we can operate individually or we can operate in collaboration with an institute or a university.
Thank you. Mr. Samuel, does UNPeace Somalia have a mandate to deliver MA on PhD programs in Somalia? How many faculties do you have currently available in MA and PhD programs in Somalia? I mean, level programs. Can you name them?
Yes, you would realize that the Africa program implements UPeace programs. We do not offer degrees from the Africa program. We implement the programs, but all degrees come from the headquarters, which is based in Costa Rica. The program in China is the same. The program in Holland is the same. The program in Philippines is the same. Now, let me come straight to your question. In Somalia, UNPeace offers 4 master's programs: governance and development, environment, development and peace, international law and human rights, and disaster resilience and humanitarian action. We only offer 1 PhD program, which is a PhD in peace, governance, and development. The entire UN Peace University in the headquarters, as well as the Africa program and other programs, offer specific country or regional programs. The UN Peace University in Somalia only offers 4 master's degrees and 1 PhD.
Are there any batch or cohort graduate who graduate from the UPeace in Somalia?
The first cohort has just completed its program, and they were supposed to graduate on the 2nd of April, but then the coronavirus stopped us from organizing the graduation. So the graduation was scheduled to take place on the 2nd of April.
How has COVID-19 affected classes and day-to-day activities of UPeace in Somalia?
It has affected programs all over the world. Even in the main campus, some people were infected, and so most people were working online. Now, how has it affected the Somalia program? I was supposed to arrive Somalia on the 18th of March, and on the 17th of March, the borders were closed. We already had our visas, our tickets were issued. We were 4 professors who were supposed to arrive on the 18th, and the borders were closed on the 17th. So what we quickly did was to quickly migrate the programs into online program. And of course, like today at 5 o'clock, I'm teaching the course on peace, justice, and human rights to the Masters in Peace and Peace Governance and Development. Dr. Louis Ndumbe will be teaching the Environment, Development, and Peace online. So we migrated our courses online as quickly as possible to make sure that the students do not lose time. But as soon as borders are open and traveling is restored, it will be quite easy for us to restart our programs. At this moment, we are now working on setting up our own office without the collaboration of any local institution, because the UN system is already in Somalia.
Recently, the Chancellor of UN Academy in Somalia questioned the legitimacy of UPeace Somalia. What's your response?
First of all, I would not like to talk about another institution. UPeace has operated in Africa for 18 years, and it has programs in 27 countries, as I indicated. Some are research programs, some are publications, and then the master's and PhD programs. Now, if you call it UN Academy, he should show the resolution of the United Nations that created that academy. We do not need to talk about institutions that are not United Nations, because all United Nations operations are based on a resolution of the United Nations. For instance, the Council of UPeace is appointed by the Secretary General of the United Nations in collaboration with the Director of UNESCO. UNESCO is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, which provides the standards for global education. And therefore, the Secretary General appoints the Council of UPeace, and he is the honorary president of UPeace. Every 2 years, the Secretary General of the United Nations presents a report on the activities of UPeace. In 2018, the Secretary General called on member states of the United Nations to support the work of UPeace in the expansion of its offerings. And that is why we came to Somalia. In Uganda, we have graduated 3 badges in Uganda Police. Uganda Police Force provides us 40 master's students and 10 PhD students every year. We have already graduated 3 badges in Uganda Police. And consequently, I do not understand why an organization, a private organization, which is not part of the United Nations, should be questioning the legitimacy of UPeace in Somalia. We are in Addis, which is the diplomatic capital. As a UN organization, we have diplomatic status. I don't think the so-called UN Academy can show you, one, the United Nations resolution that created it; two, how it is linked to the United Nations; three, what is the role of the United Nations in that academy; and finally, the United Nations is a global institution and does not create local institutions. The UN Academy, you know the people who own the UN Academy. Nobody owns UPeace. I am an employee of UPeace, and therefore those are parallel lines which do not meet.
During the period you have been operating in Somalia, what the challenges have you faced so far, and how did you overcome?
Somalia is a country which is now in transition in terms of rebuilding the state, and consequently, there are challenges of security. For instance, even our students had to cross about 3 to 4 checkpoints to get into class, and so a lot of the students will come to class very late. Sometimes there will be an attack in town, and some of the students will not be able to arrive on campus. We have students who work for United Nations agencies and live within the airport. They are unable to leave the airport and to come to the green zone to attend classes. So those are some challenges. Now, how do we overcome it? For instance, the way we have structured our programs in Somalia, we take into consideration the prevailing circumstances and make sure that our classes run from Wednesday till Saturday. And so we combine that short period of time and make sure that students attend classes for a very, very long period. Students are also provided with assignment, readings, and field work to ensure that they can actually meet up with the study. So in Uganda, we teach from Monday till Friday. But then in Somalia, it is practically impossible, and therefore we teach from Wednesday till Saturday. So there are a whole lot of challenges. There are challenges of movement, there are security challenges, and so on and so forth. But as Somalia evolves towards more stability, I think we are going to be also able to expand our programs out of Mogadishu. We have been operating in Hargeisa for a much longer period because of the relative security situation. The Somali ambassador to Kuwait, Abdullah Odowa, we gave him a scholarship. He went to Costa Rica and did his master's there when we had not started implementing masters here in Africa. And presently, him and a whole lot of others are rounding up their PhD studies. On the 15th of this month, 2 of the PhD students will be defending their final thesis. Both of them are from Hargeisa, so they'll be defending their final PhD thesis. And consequently, because of the COVID-19, we are going to organize the defense virtually.
Mr.
Because we have to
Samuel.
adapt with technology to make sure that our programs are delivered.
Yeah. Okay. This is my last question, Mr. Samuel. What's your final message to your client and Somali community?
My final message to the Somali community and our clients in Somalia, who are our students, is that the UN University for Peace is in Somalia to stay. We are there to accompany the people of Somalia in their post-conflict development agenda. So we are in Somalia to stay, and in my report to the council of the university, which I have just sent to Costa Rica, I've indicated that our programs in Somalia are going to be the most consequential program of UPeace in the entire Africa. And therefore, our clients should not worry. We are in Somalia to stay. We are going to expand our programs. We are going to provide short courses, certificate courses, and diploma courses to make sure that Those who do not have a degree, we can also build their capacity. We are in Africa to build the capacity in Africa because 70% of violent conflicts globally are in Africa. And so UN peace work in Africa is one of the most important. So we will be migrating, we are migrating to online classes for now, but as soon as the COVID restrictions come to an end, they will be able to have face-to-face classes. And finally, most of the PhDs, those who have PhDs who are teaching in our Somalia program were students who were given scholarship by UPeace, and they completed their PhD. They are now coming to Somalia to teach. My final message is that the Somalis who are currently doing their PhD should work very hard to complete their PhD so that we can absorb them into the UP system, and then they can continue building capacity in Somalia. Somalia needs UPeace very seriously.
Very good to speak to you, Mr. Samuel from UPeace. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and you can always call me anytime. We are here for you. Thank you very much.